guys, welcome to another episode of Magic 3D Printing. Before we get started, I'd like to give a little shout out to my daughter-in-law Ashley, who designed and created our new t-shirts. We really appreciate the work, and I think they look great. So recently, as many of you know from our previous video, we attended MRF, the Midwest Rep Festival in Goshen, Indiana. That was March 23rd through the 25th, and we had a great time. If you watched my video, you saw some of the stuff that we saw, some of the people that we met. There would have been more footage, but I was using a new camera and screwed up a little bit of my footage I was doing. But we did get some good stuff, and I hope you guys enjoyed the previous video. The Rep Festival was fantastic. So many people, so many cool inventions and designs, everything from robots to printers with conveyor belts that were continuously printing little planes over and over again. That was really cool. So we had a really good time, but as we were going through the displays, we met some people at a company called SeeMeCNC. Had a series of really nice printers, and there was one of them that we especially liked that we ended up buying. That is called the Artemis 300. The Artemis has some amazing features. It is not a cheap printer, but it's 32-bit. It has a duet Wi-Fi board that controls it, which also has auto leveling, auto calibration, due to the FSR resistors that are in the base. It has a 350 watt power supply, triple blower fans, which is a really neat design that we'll take a look at in a minute. They've also designed a really nice looking hot end. It has heavy duty extrusion towers, and when I say heavy, I mean heavy. It has borosilicate glass for the plate in the base. It's got a really large build volume. It's 290 millimeters wide and 500 millimeters tall, which is really big for a Delta printer. The max resolution on this thing, as far as calibration is concerned, is 0.005, which is phenomenal. It has a max print speed of 150 millimeters a second. The print bed goes up to 120 degrees Celsius. So we bought one, but when we paid for it, we found out that they were sold out. It was a show special for $1,800, and it apparently was popular enough that quite a few people bought them. So through an unusual set of circumstances, the next morning we found ourselves at the SeeMeCNC factory. Got a terrific tour of the facilities. The place was really cool. They manufacture about 80+% of every single printer, and that's amazing. So this is going to be our first venture into a printer that's not a Chinese-built printer. I love my CR10s, but this is a chance to look at a U.S.-made, U.S.-built printer that is a monster. So we're going to get into an unboxing now and give you guys a chance to see exactly what these components look like. I'll do my best to get the uprights, the extrusions on the camera, but they are really big. So let's get into it. So guys, these are the extrusions, the uprights. If you're not familiar with a Delta printer, it has a circular base and typically 3 uprights to support the upper part of the printer. Each one has a motor at the base. These linear rails are absolutely gorgeous. They appear to be about maybe a 20 by 40 linear rail or extrusion, and the belts are all pre-installed along with the sliders. Very nice, very high quality. I really like these uprights, and they are heavy. Each one's about 26 inches long, and so 2 of these are identical. The other one is the one that has the extruder built into it, which is this baby right here. So this is the extruder. It's custom built by the people at SeeMeCNC. The wiring is all pre-set up. Everything already has the wire connectors on the ends of the wires, except for a couple here, which probably have to feed through an area that's a little tight. Otherwise, it looks very much identical to the other piece. Again, beautiful quality extrusions. Everything is pre-assembled to a large degree. So let's move on and let's grab the boxes with the other components and see what else we've got. Okay guys, let's get into some of the components that are packed in with the box. Obviously, since it's a Delta printer, you're going to have a series of arms. I know one of the options coming up in the future is they're going to offer a set of carbon fiber arms, which would really be nice to reduce weight, although these don't have a lot of weight to them to begin with. Wiring packs and harnesses, various connectors that you use when threading some of the wiring through, zip ties, a lot of little components and doodads that I don't know how they're gonna fit into the overall build, but they do, and I do want to mention that they do provide really detailed step-by-step instructions. They say generally if you're inexperienced, it'll be about a 3-hour build, but the instructions, I've gone over them a couple times now, and they are really phenomenal. Should be very easy to follow. Of course, we've got Bowden tubing, extra screws and bits and pieces, but this is something that I really wanted to show off. This is the extruder that they've designed. It has 3 fans built around it for cooling, little baffles that will bring the air in. It comes stock with a really nice looking polished 0.5 millimeter nozzle. And you can see really all of the craftsmanship that's gone into this. And this is not 3D printed, by the way. This is injection molded. So they did not spare any money basically building these components. The hot end is their design, and which they have got years of experience in doing this. So that's just a really nicely built piece. I just can't wait to do some prints with this. I've seen some pictures, been impressed, but obviously I want to do it myself. Another interesting feature of this printer is the software. You know, since it's Wi-Fi, you basically need an Octoprint unit with it. Basically, you can reach into it remotely from a tablet or a desktop or laptop. The features and everything expose themselves through a web interface. So according to what I've been told, they already have Cure profiles set up, and essentially you load your model, you select the quality that you want, and you punch a button and it prints. And no bed leveling, no adjusting, no tweaking, just point and shoot. So so that's really all that's contained in the box. You know, from the get-go, really not much here at all. There can't be more than maybe 12 screws, maybe a dozen little connectors that you push the wiring in that have already had the tips crimped on them. Really nice so far. So let's take a look at the base and the top. Open it up, check out the electronics, and see what it looks like. Alright guys, so this is the base of the SeeMeCNC Artemis. Done a very nice job of putting the Artemis name across the front, and the aluminum plate that's on the base has the company name. As I mentioned before, the glass on this is borosilicate. They've got shipping connectors on here to keep anything from falling off and getting damaged. And I've also taken the liberty of removing the base plate underneath of this so we can take a look at the heat bed a little closer. So let's take a look and see what the inside of a base looks like. And it is a big one. Alright, here we go. So what we have here is some nice, looks like 20 by 20 aluminum extrusions. Everything under here is pre-wired. Really nice quality heat bed. They've also set this up on 3 rubber legs to take care of vibration, and of course to just to stabilize the overall build. But yeah, everything nicely done. They have zip strips on all of the wiring that's already been installed, and everything is basically ready to connect. So very nice. So now let's get into the top that has the Duet Wi-Fi motherboard, and also has the rest of the electronics. So let's take a peek. Okay, and here's the final component. This is actually the top. This is what houses all the electronics. You can see it's got a nice fan built into the top with a nice vent. It actually also has some items accessible on the side, including a good old fuse that says fuse, so no more hunting around for something embedded and buried somewhere. The top of this, again, I unbolted for the review, and let's lift this off. Take a peek at the insides. Okay, so inside we have another framework made of aluminum, just like we did in the base. We have a 360 watt power supply. This is the Duet Wi-Fi motherboard, which I'm really anxious to get a chance to work with. The Duet also supports dual extruders, which is an item that they are going to be producing. As soon as that comes out, we'll get one in and do a full review of the dual extrusion and how well that works. So this is it's got appears to be a MOSFET here. I mean, everything is very obviously plenty of space given the size of the printer, but everything that appears to be very nicely organized. All first grade electronics. Nothing, they haven't cut any corners, nothing cheap at all. So really looking forward to getting this built. When I do, I will be doing a show basically featuring the pieces that I've printed, talk about the settings. Again, we'll be doing Cura initially because all their profiles are set up for Cura, and then we'll look into some Simplify 3D. I was going to do a full show doing a build, but I found one online where a guy did a pretty nice job, and there's another one that's going to be taped this evening at about 8:30. So we're not going to do a step-by-step build online, but I will make any kind of notes of any issues or difficulties, things that might not have been very clear in the instructions. But again, those instructions are really impressive, so we will see about that. In our shows coming up, we've got some great things that we have planned. Sort of another myth buster like we did with the rockets. People wanting to do detailed prints. Those prints, do you really need to change nozzles? I don't know for sure, but we're going to find out. So we're going to do some detailed prints with a 0.4, a 0.3, and a 0.2 nozzle, all with the same material, all with the same speeds, and see how that comes out. We've also got some other really neat ideas for some pieces coming up. We're going to be doing a feature on the new Stinger automatic bed leveling system. Very excited about doing that, and some other great ideas I think you guys are going to love. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Make sure to hit that bell so that you get notified when other sweet looking videos come up. And we'll see you guys again real soon. Thanks. Ho, ho, ho.